Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us. I'm Ken Kirschenbaum, and this is part of our Central Station 2020 webinars. Today we have Electronix Systems. They're out in Suffolk County, New York. The presenter is Stephen Leonardo, and he's the Director of Installation. And Electronix is a regional type central station. We're going to find out exactly what their reach is and who they can handle. And they've been around a long time, probably longer than me actually in this industry. Certainly longer than Steven's been in this industry. The company was started by his dad, Fred, who's hiding in the background, I'm told. So I'm going to now introduce Steve. Here he is. And I'm going to make Steve, I'm going to turn you into the presenter. And
okay,
you're in control and on your own. By the way, before we get started,
on my own.
But please make sure you type in your questions, and at the end of the presentation, I'll be reading them to Steve, and hopefully he'll have answers for you. And he's already prepared for a good grilling. So with that, Steve, good luck.
Thanks, Ken. Excuse the snort. Hi, everybody. Thanks for logging in and coming in. Ken, thanks for having me. So yeah, as Ken said, we've been in the industry for a long time, over 40 years, 43 years this year.
Steve, put your screen up.
And we.
Steve,
I'm going to be showing in a second. Yep. Okay. Got it. Screen's up. Okay. I thought they could see me too. All right. Are we good? We can see me, Ken, right? We can see the screen.
Yep. You
the
and
presentation.
The up.
Good. Okay. All right. Let's start again. Hi, everybody. Again, I'm Steve Leonardo, the Director of Installation and Service at Electronix Systems. We're based out of Huntington Station, New York, and we've been doing this for a little while now. Our business. So a little bit about our company. Our company was founded in 1978 by my father, Fred J. Leonardo. Still working here. And Ken, I was joking, he's not behind the background over here. He's in the conference room watching, but he's still fully involved in the business. Full time. We're family owned and operated for over 40 years. So I mentioned 43 years this year. We started in 1978, and we've been in Huntington Station this whole time. We switched buildings once in 1989, and that's really about it. We've been a staple here for a long time, in the community as well too. So we're a second generation family business. I'm second generation. I'm 35 years old. I've been doing this since about 5 years old. Fred had me programming radios on our conference room table, which we still haven't upgraded. We still have the same conference room table, but that's how we work here. Family is very involved. Family is a big part of what we do. We're also employee owned since 2005. So Fred had a partner that he was with in 1986, Paul Thompson. Some people are probably aware of who that is. And we decided to they decided to part ways. And Fred, instead of buying that portion back for himself, invested it into the company. So the employees are owners of the company based on a few things that, the way an ESOP works. There's more information online about how that is. But every employee that's been here for more than 5 years is an owner and is invested in, the profits of this company, and see an annual statement showing them what their returns are on being an employee here, just for being employed here for more than 5 years. So we have over 85 full-time employees. Again, we're not just a central station. We're a full service installation and service and inspection company. Fire alarms, access control, burglary, full DoD grade systems. So start to finish, from the installation through the service and monitoring of the account, guard response. There's a lot of we do everything you need for a security system at Electronix Systems. Okay. And one important thing I wanted to point out was we have a very low employee turnover rate. And so basically the way it works here, usually people are here for a very short period of time and it doesn't work out, or they're employed for years. Fred's second employee is still here. He's been here for 42 years of the 43 years. And employees I can go through the list. A lot of people have stayed here, and made their family hours by becoming a part of this place. So our credentials and licenses, so we're approved for monitoring in 35 states of the great United States. We're UL listed for burglary and fire since 1988. We're a UL 2050 listed central station. We can handle large DoD accounts with multiple receivers that we have. We're a 5-diamond monitoring center since 2005. That's a very fine accreditation in the industry, and we try to help uphold those standards every day. We're factory mutual approved, FDNY approved central station as well, and we're a New York licensed watch guard and patrol agency. So there goes along with the alarm dispatch if a response time is needed, especially to match the UL 2050 list of requirements. We can meet those requirements, or issue that work to an agency that can handle that alongside us. All right. Monitoring wise, we do POTS lines, old school, stuff that's been going on for, decades. Still handle all that stuff, with our Bosch receiver, dual AlarmNet receivers, thousands of AlarmNet accounts come into our receivers. I'm well versed on AlarmNet as well too. Been working like I said, the original AlarmNet A radios, the 7720s. I programmed those things like they were a Game Boy when I was a kid. So, AlarmNet's been part of since it switched over to web-based and not a little ham programmer. That's where I've been, that's where I went to. So we can also handle NAPCO radios, DSC, 2 gig, alarm.com, IP and cell communicators via our SureGuard receiver, okay? We also have a DMP virtual receiver. We have a standard receiver as well. The virtual receiver can handle network and cell and digital, and the standard handles the digital communications. With that receiver, we can do network monitoring with up to 256-bit AES encryption, DoD grade monitoring, requirements, that are required to meet, for these systems. Okay. So for radionics, we also have the Netcom portion of it, so we can handle the IP receivers, IP panels into the receiver. Okay. Near net alarm path, we've used those for quite some time as well too. Still up and running, still order radios from them. Not as many as we used to put on, but it's still we still have it. Elevator monitoring, televator. So I'm stuck in an elevator. I need help. Call the police, and we have that set up in our central station as well. Environmental monitoring, standard, low temp, high temp, UPS rooms, network rooms, anything needed for critical equipment. Okay. So there's the big guy that's not hiding behind the banner right there. That's Fred up on our antenna tower on our roof. So this is our AES radio network that we developed in end of 2014. So it's a mesh radio network, and it's just like everybody knows at this point, you're replacing radios over the next year. You're going to have to do it again in 10 years, and we've been going through it with everybody, the same way. So in 2014, we made the decision, let's become an AES central station. So what does that mean? We put up antennas on multiple towers on Long Island. We have 9 of them at this point that receive information from our AES radios. These radios are all over pretty much East Hampton. I want to say Montauk, but it doesn't quite reach. But East Hampton to New York City. We have FDNY rated AES radio communicators in the city functioning, approved. It's listed with FDNY. And right here, this is the big thing, the no shutdown dates. I mean, I get it if you're a guy, you're a small shop, and you just want to, I'm done in a few years, but a lot of us are going to be doing this for a long time, and I don't want to have to do this 3 more times with the same customer. It gets frustrating. I don't care if you're getting paid for it. So, AES, we don't have that problem, so that's great. A lot of dealers are using those now too because of, that reason. And like I said, UL and FDNY listed, so it's not just, it's not just fire, it's UL listed equipment as well too. So meets all the UL requirements necessary for any certificate. We're also a WebEye central station. This is very new, within the last year that we're fully utilizing what WebEye offers. So WebEye CMS, if you're not familiar with it, basically they took VideoFied, and it's a video verified alarm monitoring system, basically. So we see the alarms come into our system. We see that it's a person. It tells us it's a person. We know that it's a car or a person in the image, and my operator knows to dispatch based off of that. If there's not a car or person, if it's not highlighted in the image, or it's unclear, it's not a dispatchable alarm, based off of how dealers want us to handle those, and the locality for that too. But they took VideoFide and they went, you know what? Someone stopped really utilizing this. Someone stopped developing it, and they really utilized it the best way possible. Remote monitoring, app arming and disarming, you name it. It's with VideoFide, you can do the security side of things with video. And, in the next, I could tell you right now, if I was a police officer in any of these cities, specifically Manhattan, if I was to be sent somewhere without knowing whether there was someone on site that was going to attack me or not, I don't know if I'd want to respond. And this is going to be one of the solutions I think is going to be a big thing in the future of law enforcement and what they're going to require, as the states start to go through this and try to protect the law enforcement that, is in question right now in this country, unfortunately. So along with the VideoFide stuff, we also do NVR camera monitoring, and it's not we trigger an alarm and we look in and, we got zone 1 front door on the security system, and now I'm looking in to see if something happened. No, this is a trespass system. This is someone crosses a line in the image, and we receive it, and it verifies it's a person. And I know if it's a person, and depending on the time of day, I know whether they're supposed to be there or not, So this is, to me, this is the future of central stations, okay? People and vehicle detection analytics, so what we're doing is, this is an option in the system, but I haven't made an option for us or for our dealers. The analytics get turned on, too many false alarms, too many video false alarms. If you use video motion to trigger an alarm, anybody, that it's not reliable, and you usually wind up turning it off. So having this analytic, I can ignore everything else, and then I can just, view the actual alarms. That's it. And as a central station, that's a big deal. That's the difference between 5 alarms and 500 alarms, Our monitoring software, we've been using Bold for a very long time. So we're very aware. Our operators, our central station manager, our data manager, they are so in tune with Bold and Manitou. They know it very, very well. We can set up real-time texts and emails, like pretty much any central station, however necessary through the system, the automation. We can customize scripts, so basically how you want that to read to your customer. We can edit that, we can change that for you, so it doesn't come from Electronix systems. It comes from, let's go with Acme Alarm Co. Whoever it is, whoever you are, it can be you, when the message goes out. Customized policies and procedures on a global dealer and customer level. To us, this is a very big deal because some don't offer this. So if you want a specific response on a specific zone, and we call a specific person, all those little details, those minute details that as a company you want to offer your customers, we can give you that, so you can offer your customers that, just like we offer ours. Okay. And I clicked beforehand, but yes, live operators. When you call Electronic Systems, whether it's calling for a sales call, the main office number, or the central station, you get somebody on the phone. Okay. There's no auto attendant. There's no press 1 for English. There's no, all this stuff. It's you get somebody on the phone, and we're there to speak to you, because that's how customer service works, in our opinion. Okay. Dealer technical support. Again, I clicked too fast, but I'd love to say that I'm the only one doing dealer tech, but that's the old days. We have a bunch of guys here that are familiar with the security systems that a lot of the industry professionals install. We're familiar with the communicators because we install them ourselves, and specifically, our AES radios. If you're installing those, we're your tech support, 24/7. It's not AES. It's we're your support. We don't sell you a device and send you out to pasture. We help you. We support it. Okay. Along with AlarmNet and pretty much any questions, we really do help our dealers a lot. Downloading services. Again, we have a data department. I also have tech people that are familiar with AlarmNet 360, familiar with Compass, familiar with Remote Link, and always learning new things as well too. So we can download quite a few systems. That would be a question as to what we can do for you. You'd have to speak to me. BoldNet and dealer portal and support. So just like if you want to be a dealer that's self-sufficient, you need to use the services that we offer when it comes to logging into Manitou and viewing your customer signals. Instead of talking to somebody on the phone and asking them what happened, you could see it yourself. Okay, and it's not just on your computer; it's on your phone, it's on your iPad, it's with you wherever you go. All right, and that service also allows you to put the system on test, view zones, and more importantly, view the activity of what happened. Especially if you get Mrs. Jones calling you at 4 a.m. that the alarm went off. It's nice to know what she's talking about. And along with that goes the support. So not only do we, if you aren't sure how to use it, if you don't know how to read a signal, if this is your first time using automation, if this is your first year guy, this is the stuff that we do. We'll show you. You're not alone. We can help you. That's a big part of what we try to do here. Okay, we try to help. All right. We also have an OSHA 10 and 30 hour authorized trainer on staff. It's my sister Kristen. She got licensed or approved last year, and she's been doing the training. COVID is throwing a little wrench in things, but they're working around it. And what's great is not only is she a trainer, but she's special. She's in the alarm industry like me. She's been involved for since she's a kid. So she's aware of the specific needs that we run into, when it comes to construction sites as well too. Okay. Our staff. Okay, so all our operators are trained extensively and hold level 1 and 2 certificates from the Monitoring Association. They're really good. I just want to say that. I think they deserve that credit because these our operators come in, they work 24/7. Some of them work longer shifts. Some of them come in after a shift off. We have the storm last Tuesday. We had 2 or 3 extra people staying after work, staying late to help. That's our team. Those are our operators. That's how we function here, and they're sharp. They're good. They're good. All operators hold an F40 certificates for fitness for FDNY as well. And background checks and fingerprints are performed on all employees. Okay, so no one comes in this company without us knowing their past, what they've done, what they haven't done, hopefully what they haven't done, because we're looking for employees, not people we have to push away. So Electronix management has this is mine, sorry, Ken, has 200 plus years of experience in security systems and central station monitoring. All right, why did I put that there? Larry Huff, our vice president, is the president of the New York Burger and Fire Alarm Association. He's been in the industry for a very long time. He's a wealth of knowledge for a lot of people. Ron Petraka, who is, pretty much retired at this point, another name that people, know, he's been doing this for a long time. So, our management here is, they have a lot of knowledge and a lot of experience, and thankfully they share it with everyone else who doesn't. Lastly, family is inclusive of all employees of Electronic Systems. This is, a family business in every sense, other than not everyone that works here is actually blood, but it doesn't matter here. That's the kind of company we are. A lot of our employees live in Huntington. They're local people, so this is their hometown. So, we came into their town and started a business, and they get to work with us, which is a great thing. And thank you for having me. This is a pleasure to present and tell you guys about who we are and how we function, really, really grateful for the opportunity. Thank you, Ken.
Steve, thanks. That was a great presentation. Concise, to the point, answered a lot of issues. We do have some questions. I'm going to see if I can figure out how to get to them. Here we are. Okay. What do you do as the, now keep in mind, I'm reading this to you before I've read it myself. So what do you do as the central station when one of your dealers with the New York City Fire account does not get test signals for some time or restores from alarms and the dealer ignores or does not take any action?
Okay, I'm going to say that sounds like somebody that's probably already involved in FDNY, and I'll specifically say that I don't deal with the procedures with that in particular because I manage the installation and service departments, but I most definitely can take that question and get it to my central station manager and get it answered for you exactly. As far as I know, if something doesn't communicate in the city, we have to let FDNY know. I'm not sure of the time frame on it, but I can get all that information, and we're FDNY listed, so I know we have the answer.
What do you do when, for New York City Fire Alarm account, after you have applied for a terminal assignment and got it, and now find out that the job is not approved and a violation has been issued, and the terminal assignment should not have been applied for because the job was never filed or approved.
Okay. It sounds like a quiz. So
Yeah,
what I'll
yeah.
do is I'm going to take that question. Yeah, I'm going to take that question and also give that to my central station. Imagine I'll get the info and I'll get back to you, because that's I'm sure that I'm sure they have a specific thing that's supposed to be done to follow that, and I'm sure I can find it if needed. So no problem.
Okay, well, we don't want to put you on the spot here. So let me ask you a couple of questions. So what? So
Sure.
we know that Electronix is a regional central station. So what is the territory that you're willing to take on?
Right. So currently, tri-state area, pretty much anywhere where we're like, yeah, if you could.
Sorry.
Okay, thanks, Ken. Yeah, so no, that's fine. Don't worry about it. So we're already monitoring the tri-state area. We're expanding right now. So my goal in the future is to be licensed through all 50 states of the United States. I see no reason not to be capable of monitoring everywhere.
So you're looking
along with that.
You're looking to expand.
Yeah, because along with that. Yeah, because with the video monitoring, I don't need to be in the locality. I mean, as a central station, I don't need to be in that vicinity to monitor as long as I'm licensed. The thing that I like about us in the area on Long Island is that we're isolated in this area, so I can say to somebody, you know what, we're a local central station, and that's a big benefit. Especially in a small area like this on Long Island, it's very compact in the city and stuff. I feel like once we get out of this area, it's okay. I can monitor across the country. I can monitor anywhere. It's 2020. The speed of the video signals that I get, the analytic is processed within seconds. I have the video in my central station in less than 10 seconds. You weren't doing this 5 years ago. You weren't doing that 10 years ago. So it's just going to get faster. It's just going to get easier for us to be able to monitor anywhere, other than the local requirements, which of course licensing.
What is the customer's interaction, if any, with WebEye?
Okay. All right. So with WebEye, the customer's only interaction is with the central station, unless they subscribe for a different service. Okay. So they can get an app notification if they want, along with dispatch. They can just have access to their cameras via the app, so they can look in and check and stuff too. So, and they can arm and disarm from the app as well. So it's from literally zero interaction to full interactive services with the device. Oh, I don't lose it, Ken. Did you catch it?
Do you have customers? Do you have a customer portal that your customers can access to change any data?
We do not. We do not. So the data changes are made through our data department and filtered through there. So it usually comes in via email or fax if they do, or a phone call with an authorization. And depending on the dealer, if the dealer's okay with their customers making certain changes, we'll allow that. If they're not, then all changes have to go through the dealer.
Well, before I mention this, the comment came in. This sounds like a great opportunity to back up the customer who tends to monitor his own video. Usually video comes with some ability to self-monitor. But I think it was in my article today, or maybe yesterday, I commented on dealers who want to be the central station's point of contact instead of the subscriber or customer. And I caution against that. Do you know whether Electronix has a lot of dealers who want to be their point of contact?
Yeah, a lot of dealers want to be the one that speaks to them. I mean, it's their customer. If it's minor changes or some dealer, then again, you have other dealers that don't really want to be bothered, and they only take the RMR. And it depends on it depends on the person and the level of control they want to have. What's nice is they have that level, they have that decision to make. So Jackie actually is watching. She texted me. So the first one was, we don't put anything online without FDNY approval. So I'm sure she passed that one. We notify the FDNY inspector on any unaddressed issues along with certified letter. Okay. And also dealer portal. So the dealer can make changes in the portal if they want to. We can set that up. It's not something that we currently practice much of, just because of a business practice on our end. We like to, it comes kind of down to that interaction, you know?
So data input is done by electronic employees, basically.
Yes.
Right.
Yep.
Okay.
And verified as well by them too. So there's yeah. So it's loaded and then checked by another data operator to make sure it's correct.
Okay. How many accounts do you monitor, excluding your own?
I believe I'll have to get the exact number from somebody. I believe it's near 10,000, and I'll confirm.
And how many dealers do you do wholesale monitoring for?
Dealer number, okay, 20,000 accounts, okay, and dealer number's coming too.
Okay.
She's typing viciously. The bubbles are up on the phone. Hold on. 150. We have 150 dealers. 150 dealers, Ken.
Okay. Steve, what opportunities do you see since COVID has come on the scene with regard to video and monitoring customers' NVRs?
Okay. I could jump into temperature cameras, but my feeling is in the near future, I don't know if that's going to last a very, very long time. But what I do see is still what they're trying to do. A few things I've noted. That's a possibility, and pretty much I can do with WebEye, you know, anyway. I'll put it to you this way. Anything that an NVR can send notification-wise, I can monitor. Okay? So if a system can notify me if there's too many people in a room, there's too many people too close to each other, social distancing, that is an opportunity there. That we can monitor, and it's as simple as, it sounds kind of funny. So what are you going to do? You're going to have the central station call there and be like, there's too many people standing in the room. But it doesn't just need to be that. We can use that and we can relay that to an automated thing that happens and a notification that goes to the customer. And now the customer is aware, and the manager and maybe the offsite manager is told, so they know, because it's a liability. You know, so there's so many opportunities just with the notification aspect with that, when you don't have the manager at the location and they can be notified offsite. Okay, there's one. Temperature, I mean, if you can get temperature notifications, if you want to go crazy with that, sure. I don't think that's going to last. I think it's going to continue to be the trespass system with the cameras is going to be. Other with COVID, temperature, sickness, I mean, there's a lot of opportunities, but to be honest, I don't think there's, for the remote video monitoring, a few things. I guess doorman systems, a continuation of that. A lot of services that are already here are going to continue and be utilized more so, probably, you know, than the other ones just being added to.
Do you require your dealers to use contracts with their customers?
We do. Well, we require not that they have a contract with their customers. We require that if they have the Kirschenbaum all-in-one, they're good. If they don't, they need to have the three-party agreement signed between us, them, and their customer for us to monitor them.
And you have a dealer. Each dealer is required to sign a dealer agreement, correct?
Yes. So we have a separate dealer agreement stipulating all their prices for all the services that we offer. So it's all set in stone initially, so there's no questions.
All right. Here's a comment. With many companies that have temporarily shut down, I have personally seen an increase in a concern over whether their video is going to the cloud or their system is working properly. What do you think?
Right. Yeah, most definitely. And that's part of why I wanted to use WebEye initially. So we had a health check, NVR health check system in place initially. That was with the email address, and it had to be monitored, and it sent troubles and blah, blah, blah. All right. That was garbage. So what WebEye does, just like an automation system, is it sends a daily polling signal. So either it sees the signal from the panel, it utilizes that as its response, or if it doesn't see that within 24 hours, it sends a ping to it. If it gets the ping back, is a good, clean test. If it doesn't, it's an alarm, and it hits the alarm screen. The operator sees it, If it's our account, a ticket gets loaded. If it's a dealer account, the dealer gets notified. Same goes for camera loss, hard drive loss, hard drive failure, video loss on the hard drive itself, missing video, anything that, like I was saying, and Hikvision is one of the big ones. Invid, if anyone's a local guy and you're on Long Island, at a Hopog, Invid's products work, or at least Invid's OEM stuff works with it. We're working on getting more stuff working. Like we're working with WebEye to get more stuff listed with it, so people can see anything that you want to monitor that the MVR can send that someone would have to self-monitor. We'll be able to monitor and can monitor currently with Hikvision and a bunch of other brands that are branded through WebEye. So any alert you want, we can get, and we can do whatever you want with it. It's not we can is kind of the statement, is we can do it. So
Do you offer guard response to your dealers?
we do, as long as it's in, we can, if we can't handle it in-house for the response time necessary, because we only respond out of Huntington Station, we have other response guard companies that we work alongside with. So this way that he can meet the requirements. So the dealer isn't looking somewhere else for a solution. We can provide the solution for them through here.
Do you issue UL certificates?
We do.
And you do that on behalf, so you'll issue a UL certificate on behalf of your dealers.
Right. Along with that goes the expertise of, our Ronnie DeRisi, who's our UL support rep, basically. Long-time installer, very well-versed, handles all of our UL stuff. And he'll go to the site, he'll make sure, we've been through, we won't put something online as UL until we inspect it and confirm that it's UL grade and it meets the requirements, as well as the annual inspection that's required that we have to do alongside with the dealer to confirm that everything still is the way it was when the certificate was issued.
For New York City Fire, do you send a runner to the accounts when there's a signal, as opposed to a
Do
guard?
we send a runner? No, we don't send a runner into FDNY for that. I'm checking to see if that's a requirement that we have to follow, though.
What about if a runner's requested?
If a runner is requested, we can contract to a service if needed.
Question is, were requested by who? New York City Fire or by the customer? Can you help with regard to Notifier fire alarm projects?
We're a Notifier dealer, so most definitely we can help with Notifier. We're also a DMP dealer, so DMP, a lot of people are now, but we have, we're over 25 years with DMP, so we're experts with that as well too. Along with Firelight and Honeywell, residential, commercial, we've been doing that for, again, a very long time too. So those are our main platforms that we work with. So any Notifier needs, we can also supply parts or, quote or service as needed. Yep.
Well, here's a question again about New York City Fire. They want to know, how much do you charge? And I'm not sure whether this is limited to what do you charge for a runner service, or what do you charge to monitor a New York City a fire alarm account. Maybe you could answer both.
I won't probably answer that on the webinar, but feel free. My phone number is here. You can call me. We can speak directly if you like pricing for central station monitoring.
Do you have a basic charge that you could throw out there for someone coming to you?
I'd rather not, only because I want to make sure what those charges are to verify. We have a lot of different fees. I could tell you what basic dealer fees are, but I'd rather have a structure out to give to everybody. Our fees are competitive, and I can review that specific with anybody that's looking to become a dealer.
Well, somebody wants to know if you still monitor the old Demco building on Long Island. But, I don't know if I follow that.
Yes, the old Demco building or the current Honeywell building, the one that's in Melville. So yes, and I don't know if we do 165 Eileen Way.
You said the old one.
Not the old one anymore. I don't think so. But we have a few buildings in the Sayas Industrial Park.
Let me ask you this: we've had a lot of central stations presenting webinars during this series, and they were all asked whether they were New York City Fire approved, and almost all of them had to say they weren't. And Electronix is, which which is potentially important to dealers that come to Electronix because it's a regional central station. Some of the other webinars, most of the other webinars were by national companies. So the questions that related strictly to New York City didn't really have much relevance to most of the attendees on the webinar. But here, of course, it's a more local audience. So I'm curious,
Right.
what do you know? What hoops that Electronix had to go through, or any central station would have to go through to become New York City Fire approved? What differentiates a central station that's approved and one that isn't approved?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know? I don't want to put you on the spot if you don't know.
No. Again, Ken, I'd be lying if I told you I knew the answer on the spot. I've been doing installation and service and all this stuff for the last 15 years and running the business as well too, and not in the central station side in that respect. But that's why we have a central station manager who has the answers, who's kindly texting me right now. Initially, we had to take a test and obviously pass it. But along with that too is that there's training, TMI training is part of it as well too. So they utilize that as a requirement. That's what the operators, each operator, this is for a fact, and that was in the presentation as well too. So each operator needs to be FDNY listed by taking operator levels 1 and 2 by TMA. So I mean that's just good for us in general, because now they're trained by the monitoring association, for that. There's multiple fees that need to be paid for every site that you handle. So there's that. Secondly, when it comes to the annual audit or payment, you have to pay FDNY based off the number of, I believe it's based off a total number of all of the accounts. It's a weird formula they use, and it's not cheap. So it's not, I wouldn't say that it's difficult to become listed in FDNY. It's as the expense makes sense for you as a business to do it. Okay, we're on Long Island. We're close. We have multiple dealers that do work in the city. It makes sense for us as a central station to be listed for New York City, But that's like, does it make sense for me to be listed for fire monitoring in LA being in Long Island, on Long Island? I don't know. It probably depends on the amount of accounts and all that other stuff that goes along with it. So just like anything else, it's a lot of effort, to put into it.
If New York City Fire Department restricts the number of central stations that it's going to permit to qualify, or it's all? I
don't know if it's restricted. I'm pretty sure it's open. I don't think they're allowed to do that. I know a county that does that. We won't get into that, but I just learned the other day. But yeah, I don't think so. And also, you have to be UL and FM approved to even be considered to be a FDNY central station. So another organization that's looking for multiple accreditations from other organizations, so you can, be approved by them, along with their own requirements they have to,
All right, here's another question. It's a technical one, I think. Can you let me know the impact of remote applications through phones for alarm systems? My question is, what percentage of new accounts that is residential counts that use, for example, Total Connect? You got that?
Sure. Can you send me that in email?
No.
Yeah, so I guess how many, so it sounds like the percentage, how many new accounts you're putting online residentially are getting remote services. That's what it sounds like me, as opposed to the old school phone line. And if that is the correct question, I'd say probably at this point 50+% of residential accounts that we put on employ remote services as well too. But for a few reasons. One, it's inexpensive enough to add on as a service, and two, it's 2020. If you're anywhere, if you have any sort of technological ability, you want to turn on your radio with your voice, you want to set the alarm by talking when you're leaving, you want to do whatever it is. If it's not Alexa, it's an app. That's what the world we live in. So most people, it's like, yeah, you want the remote service, so you can disarm it if someone comes home and you're not there, and they go, okay, that makes sense, and we add it on.
Okay. Someone's commented now. They're giving us the answer to the questions that were raised. No, they do not. So the fire department doesn't restrict who can monitor, how many central stations, and they used to have a distance requirement, and supposedly they don't at this point. So,
Okay.
someone,
Gotcha.
so the central station, I guess, that doesn't have any local connection to the New York City can now qualify to do the New York City fire monitoring. Okay.
Right. Right. I want to point to something that even the question was regarding residential, but old school phone line monitoring. People have to keep in mind going forward. Phone lines, regular analog lines are going and have gone away in a lot of areas. And radio monitoring is already required by Nassau County for fire. So or cellular monitoring. So you're going to have to. And what's nice is our device for the city and for the AES fire radio. Meets the requirement of a two-path communicator, okay? So if you're in Nassau, you need two paths, you need IP and cell. This radio, because it has multiple sites, is considered a two-path device. So we don't need IP to connect to our device. We only need radio. All right, so that's also a plus by using AES in the city or in Nassau County.
But if you use AES radio, we're only talking about local AES. If I got a call from a dealer in Nebraska that says, "Oh, I have AES," I can't tell them, "Well, you could use Electronix," right? That won't work.
No. So AES, so everyone's familiar. So I can, whoever's not familiar, of course, you should explain. But it's a proprietary frequency to that company, as well as a proprietary code that locks the device out. So you need the code and the frequency to even make it work. That doesn't mean I couldn't monitor his accounts if they wanted to change over to our central station. It just means it would be a different frequency. Our radios wouldn't mesh with their radios. And when it comes to
actually the way you would monitor it is that he would have a local receiver in Nebraska that would then communicate with you over the internet. That's how you would monitor it. Here's a question,
and that's how it comes down to.
Here's a question for me that I don't know why. This is a question for Ken Kirschenbaum, which I'm going to pass on to Steve. It is my understanding that flyer radios will be required in the future. Do you have a feel on when that might actually take place? Well, what is a flyer radio?
Yeah. Probably fire, I'm guessing.
Flyer.
Like radio communicator to a fire. Like a radio flyer? Like a wagon?
Flyer radio. That's what he said.
I don't know.
You don't know?
If it's a fire, if he's talking about, I would assume he's talking about what? FY, how do you spell it? Is it a specific type of radio? I mean,
he spelled it FL.
So maybe just a typo?
Flyer. A flyer radio.
Sounds like
you think it's
sounds like autocorrect strikes again.
You think it's possible he's asking us about a fire radio?
I think he's asking about a fire radio, FIRE, yeah.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, so he's asking about a fire radio.
Fire radio. Okay. So in other words,
I knew it couldn't be that, yeah. So
in other words, if fire alarm accounts, commercial fire, you could not have communicating via radio. But I believe you can do that now. I think NAPCO's.
Well, definitely, yeah. That's an old requirement. So there used to be the code, and that's gone way back, where it strictly had to be two POTS lines. That's gone. You have one of the codes. It has to be a managed voice phone network. It's a specific acronym, but that's Optimum with a backup battery and LightPath or Verizon. But yeah, fire radios are going to be the wave of the future. It only makes sense. I mean, phone lines are going to go away. You're going to rely upon over-the-air communications. So yes, fire radios are going to continue to be popular, and will probably be at one point. IP and radio will be the only source of communications.
Let me ask you something.
Unless something else comes out.
Why is cellular and radio sometimes used interchangeably in these conversations? Are they actually the same?
Well, I mean, RF, right? So radio frequency, that's the start. That's where radio comes from. I mean, that's both cellular, any technology that's transmitting like that is radio frequency. So radio is probably the right term. Cellular, I believe, is in regards to the type of communication from the data companies. And those cellular radios would be AT&T, Verizon, from cellular companies. I don't know what that would refer to explicitly in our industry, but our radios are subscriber communicators that work on RF technology. Okay, that they're called subscribers because they're subscribing to a network. They're not just, that's just the term. So we've always said subscribers and radios, and we don't really have a problem.
But is there a difference between a cellular communication and a radio communication?
Well, I think radio is the blanket term and cellular is a specific type of communicator. So cellular communications would go back to, before the analog days, and then 2G and 3G and 4G and 5G. That's cellular communications, if you ask me. I could confirm that, but that's cellular. Radio frequency is it could be any type of communication that they send out. They send radio frequency out into space. I mean, you use it to listen to your radio in the car all the time. It's just the type of technology. So
I mean,
I don't know, radio sounds cooler too. So.
Are my contracts going to have to be changed to sort of remove reference to cellular and just reference it as radio?
I mean, I would probably talk to your attorney, but I don't know who that is. Are they good?
Oh, yeah, I'll check with somebody. You're not off the hook on fire yet. How do you ensure that Optimum or Verizon, one worse than the other, provides a rechargeable power supply for fire alarm communication? You certainly need a rechargeable power supply with what's going on in Long Island now, to tell you that.
Yeah. How can I ensure? I go there when the work is completed and I see it with my own two eyes and I sign off on it and I say this customer had a battery backup modem installed and I'm done with my installation. That's it. That's what I tell my staff all the time. I would never take someone's word for it because, well, I don't have to tell you that, but yeah. We need to make sure it's done right. So if I don't see that there, and it's not done, it's not completed, So that's part of the sign off of the job. If you ask me, your checklist when you finish your work,
Okay.
Other than that, I can't really force them to do anything else. So.
Okay. Well, going once,
right.
Twice, 3 times, we're probably, from Steve's perspective, thankfully out of questions, and and I want to thank everybody.
I'll keep going. I don't think anyone else wants to keep watching. I'm sure everyone wants to finish their lunch hour doing something else. They got 10 minutes.
Well, okay. Well, we want to thank everybody for attending. We hope you learned a lot. If you have any questions about Electronix, please get in touch with Steve. His phone number, his email, I think, is up there too, and he's ready and willing to answer all your questions and take you on as a new dealer and make you happy if you're already a dealer. So with that, I'm going to say thank you again and sign off. See you next time. Thank you, Steve.
Thanks, Ken.
All right.
All right. Bye-bye.